Thank you very much for making a date on the marketplace. Welcome back. Now, coming up with additional strategies to firmly stabilize the Ghana cedi and closing the page on recapitalization of banks, as well as the troubled ones, are set to dominate discussions as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana begins meeting next week to formally review the health of the economy. Now, why has this regular round of meeting been described as crucial in dealing with challenges facing the sector? There's more in the following report.
The committee will be looking at whether there might be the need for some additional measures introduced to help firmly stabilize the cedi. This was after its initial strategy of supporting the market with more dollars appears not to be getting the required results. There are even proposals for the Bank of Ghana to look at enforcing some of its laws on use of the dollars in the economy to help deal with the excessive demand for dollars locally. One can also not forget about what should be the final decision on the three troubled banks. That is, whether they have been able to come up with strategies that will allow them still operate, or the Bank of Ghana may have to withdraw their license. Sources say the regulator at the meeting may also consider proposed measure of the two local banks to meet the 400 million cedi capital and transfer some of the shares of one bank that was recently put under supervision of the Bank of Ghana. The committee would also look at whether the current developments in terms of cedi depreciation warrant a marginal hike in policy rate, which currently stands at 17%. The policy rate often influences the cost of credit in the country. The Monetary Policy Committee is expected to announce their decision on the policy rate next Monday.
Now to our top story. The year-on-year inflation rate for June 2018 has gone up to 10% as a result of increases in prices of non-food items in the country. This figure is a 1% increase as compared with the rate recorded in May at 9.8%. According to the government statistician, Dr. Bawadier, prices of imported commodities continue to record increases over the last 3 months. In the regional distribution, the Upper West region recorded the highest inflation rate of 11.9%, higher than the national rate.
On-year inflation rate was 10.0% compared with 9.8% recorded in May 2018. The monthly change rate in June 2018 was 1.0%, which is the same as the rate recorded in May 2018. The year-on-year non-food inflation rate for June 2018 was 11.2% compared with the rate of 10.9% that was recorded in May 2018. Now, the year-on-year food inflation rate for June 2018 was 7.3% compared with 7.6% recorded in May 2018. And the year-on-year non-food inflation rate is 1.5 times that of the food inflation rate. That is 11.2% as compared with 7.3% for the month of June 2018. Again, the year-on-year inflation rate for imported items was 2.6 percentage points higher than that of locally produced items. And the main price drivers for the non-food inflation rate were clothing and footwear, a rate of 16.1%, transport 15.5%, recreation and culture 13.8%, furnishing, household equipment and routine maintenance a rate of 13.3%, and miscellaneous goods and services a rate of 12.7%. And the price drivers for the food inflation rate were coffee, tea, and cocoa 10.3%, fruits 9.6%, meat and meat products 8.7%, mineral water, soft drinks, fruit and vegetable juices 8.4%, vegetables 8.3%, and food products not elsewhere classified 7.7%. At the regional level, 4 regions, Upper West, Bong, Ahafo, Western, and Ashanti, recorded inflation rates that were higher than the national average of 10.0%. And the Northern region recorded the same inflation rate as the national average of 10.0%. Upper West region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation rate of 11.9%, followed by Bomo-Ahafo with 10.9%, while Upper East region recorded the lowest year-on-year inflation rate of 8.1% in June 2018.
All right, so it looks like we are now getting back into the double-digit inflation, and we would like to know what impact this would have on the economy as well. Let's get on the phone lines now and speak with economist Courage Martey to do some more analysis. Good afternoon, Courage. Welcome to the marketplace.
Hi, good afternoon, Mark. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we are back to the double-digit inflation. What do you have to say about this?
First of all, this is not a surprise because in recent months or weeks, we have to experience an upsurge in crude oil price, and it has passed through to export price on the domestic market, and that was always going to push inflation or non-food inflation up. Then in recent weeks, at least so far in the second quarter to June, we also saw an upsurge in currency pressure. The cedi had to depreciate a lot more, and that again has its pass-through effect to inflation. So on that count, I'm not surprised. In fact, it was expected that we could keep 10% from our model by June 2018. Again, what this means, in my opinion, is that at this month's NPC meeting, the door for a policy rate cut has been closed. We expect that at best, the policy rate will be maintained at 17%.
All right. Now, what exactly, because when we talk about, crude oil increases or fuel price increases, we're never going to see any downward trend. Of course, the crude oil prices on the world market continue to increase. Does it mean that this trend is going to be sustained for a while?
Well, we're also paying attention to what is happening with major suppliers or producers on the market. The OPEC-Russia Accord has this agreement that helps to move price within a certain range. And from the noise we're picking or hints they've been offering on the market, it appears they are not excited about price moving above $80 per barrel because shale producers. And so given the fact that Iran has suffered some sanctions, which is the main reason why price has shot up to this level, they are looking to bring back some production on instead for the loss of Iran and probably Libya. And now that should limit upside movement of world market price for crude oil. And so the hope we have is that price will not move beyond stable levels. Then on the domestic front, we have something on the price bill that will to stabilize the price stabilization level, which will help to stabilize the movement. We also recall that the special petroleum tax was amended to a specific tax. The effect of that is to limit the upside pressure that an ad valorem nature would have imposed or posed to prices. So I think that there are measures that could limit the upside movement. But we must also be careful going forward because the hint we are also picking up is that in the mid-year review, there are some taxes that could be introduced. And now if there are taxes that would operate through the supply side of the economy, it could also pose some short-term inflationary consequences. But overall, by the end of this year, we think that these pressures should be short-lived and we should return below 10% by the end of this year.
All right, so currently, what will be the impact on the economy at this stage?
Well, the impact again is that immediately the expectation will be that policy rate will remain at where it is. Cost of credit should not or would not be expected to come down as fast again. It means that the road to sustaining macroeconomic stability is not appearing as rosy as we all thought it would be. And so the main impact is that expectations will now have to be tapered going forward in terms of expectations of even a recovery in purchasing power, expectation in a recovery in private sector investment. All these expectations will have to be tapered going forward.
Many thanks for your time. Courage Martey is an economist with DataBank. Away from that, government is to create designated ship-to-ship and bunker zones outside Tema and Takoradi ports to regulate and safeguard Ghana's future liquid cargo business. This was disclosed by the Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko at the 10th edition of the Africa Oil and Shipping Conference, currently ongoing in Accra. The move is part of plans to build a petroleum hub in Ghana, Boakye Agyarko says government will provide a regulatory environment that assures investors of safety and security against piracy and other maritime crimes.
Central to our plan to build a petroleum hub in Ghana is our ability to provide a regulatory environment that ensures investors of safety and security against piracy and other maritime crimes. The government is therefore preparing to create a designated ship-to-ship and bunker zones outside Tema and Takoradi ports to regulate and safeguard Ghana's future liquid cargo business. These bunker zones, that will include both anchor and drifting zones, will ensure a drastic reduction in the risk of piracy during offshore bunkering operations, improve maritime security, enhance collection of tariffs, curb illegal fuel smuggling, adulteration of fuel, and unscrupulous blending of fuel, maintaining thereby higher standards of fuel quality in our region and improve our regulatory monitoring and compliance.
So Boakye Agyarko also says his ministry will continue to collaborate with relevant stakeholders, including the Ghana Navy, the NPA, the Ghana Maritime Authority, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Marine Police, and EPA to ensure the smooth implementation of these plans. Platform Chief Operating Officer of the National Oil Company, GOIL, says such a move will significantly enhance bunkering activities in the country. He also emphasized GOIL's readiness to comply with new International Maritime Organization's sulfur levels.
Station side, Ghana has already taken steps. We are supplying products with a maximum sulfur content of 50 parts per million, 50 ppm. But at the moment, what we bring into the country is already 30 parts per million. The problem now has to do with the fuels that go onto the vessels on the sea. When we talk about bunkering, it's about fuel oil and then marine gas oil. The fuel oil is very, very thick. The sulfur content is very, very high. That's why the international organizations have set the cap at 0.5% sulfur. But the marine gas oil that we even supply to the vessels, we are compliant. It is below the 0.5 already. In Ghana. Is below the 0.5. So we are already prepared. We are taking steps. It's just that the ship owners now have to also now look at how they would reorganize themselves so that most of their ships can now be very compliant. Because to be successful in bunkering, there are 3 or 4 elements that you need to look at. The first one is the product quality. So once you assure the international community that you are supplying products that's of a high quality, you are not supplying adulterated products. On the high seas, people can just give you water mixed with the fuel. But Ghana is noted for very high quality products, so it attracts a lot of these international vessels. The second thing too is that we have the infrastructure base. For instance, you are aware in Takoradi, we have the 13,500 metric ton tank capacity, one of the biggest in Africa. As a secondary naval base, we also have some tanks there, which is also very modern, first-class facility. So once you have the infrastructure right, then you are sure that you are going to attract the international players.
Now, the coordinator of the Third World Network Africa, Dr. Yao Graham, has slammed government over the continuous ban on small-scale mining activities in the country. According to him, the unnecessary delays in lifting the ban on small-scale mining fuel suspicion that government has vested interest in the decision. In March 2017, government placed a ban on illegal mining following a wave of media campaign on the menace. But Dr. Yao Graham, in an interview with Joy Business, says government is in a confused state on the exact date to lift the ban.
The clear confusion in government about the way forward on the ban on small-scale gold mining is very worrying. We in Third World Network Africa always insisted that the ban was misguided in the first place, insofar as it included, as is now, legal small-scale miners. People's businesses have been destroyed, and there seems to be no remedy or even sensitivity to this effect on these people. And it's important for the government to end what we sense is the incoherence in government about the way forward. Is it a problem of which ministry is leading the thing going on? There are rumors that there's disagreement, within government about the way forward. There are rumors about some other agencies, not being in agreement. But what is important, really, in our views, that when you look at, the different pronouncements, for example, the report that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources said until all the rivers, were portable, the ban should not be lifted. It's a completely bizarre, position. And we really think that this lifting of this ban is long overdue, and this is the opinion of even some of the key agencies in the sector, because they dare not come public to say it. And the cost of a policy which was not clearly thought through when it was initiated. I think it's about time, we cut the losses that honest business people are taking because of, this policy.
How about those who also feel that let's clearly see all the interventions that will prevent illegal mining, which will go into destroying our water bodies and all these things in place before we lift this ban?
Legal small-scale miners have nothing to do with this business, because the conflation of legal small-scale miners with illegal miners is a problem.
Now, a wedding dress is said to be both an intimate and personal thing for women. It must reflect her personality and style. But how do you choose that perfect gown for less cost? Ahead of the Joy Business and Bridal Fair, which opens tomorrow, Sandra Esinamafenu has been engaging the CEO of Ruby's Bridal, Ruby Anoma, on how to choose the elegant gown for less.
I found a love for me.
With so many options available on the market, choosing the right wedding gown for that special day has always been an issue for most women. From the ball, the fairy tale, to the mermaid gowns, statistics from Glamour Magazine UK indicates about 80% of brides have wedding regrets due to their choice of gown. For the CEO of Ruby's Bridal, Ruby Anoma, going for what is in vogue is not bad. But what is important is for women to consider their body shape when selecting a gown.
Most often, people are asking for the mermaid gowns these days. That's what is in vogue now.
Must everybody wear mermaid?
No, I think first of all, you should know your shape. It's really important because we have all types of gowns. So you should look at your shape and your personality. All these things go into picking a wedding gown.
But how do we also select that perfect gown without paying much for it?
Most often the laces, we have grades of laces. So the laces are quite expensive because, like I'm saying, we have some of them that are really expensive. But the satins are a little less expensive than the lace. If you don't have the budget to buy it, I don't see anything wrong with renting a gown, which are less affordable. So why not?
From as low as 2,000 Ghana cedis, Ruby's Bridal is promising prospective brides the best when it comes to gown at the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair. As one of the sponsors of the Beauty and Bridal Fair, Ruby's Bridal will be giving 10 to 15% discount on all items purchased at the fair. Another stand to look out for is 925 Jewelers, located at Sakumono Estate. Having been part of the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair for 7 years now, the company decided to join the list of sponsors. From retail to repairs, manufacturing and after-sales services, 925 Jewelers has accessories made of the best beads in the country for all occasions. Aside beads, the company is also into silver and gold bridal accessories. Director of 925, Lisa Hayford, says 925 has special offer for everyone. And finally, after having that beautiful and perfect wedding, how do you maintain maximum security in your home? That is where Millennium Insurance Company Limited comes in. The company is having a special insurance package for couples at the bridal fair. Nicolina Lajaku is the marketing manager of Millennium Insurance.
For our home insurance, which is actually the product we're bringing out, sort of a mini launch we want to do over the fair, we're saying that you have a 15% discount on the purchase of our home insurance.
So, it's going to be exciting at the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair between the 12th and the 15th at the Accra International Conference Center. Come with your ward to enjoy the toddler's corner while you shop. And of course, your favorite on-air personalities, including Dorinando, Natalie Atto, and Daniel Dazi, will hit the runway on Saturday for a fashion showdown. The Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair, when beauty comes alive and your walk down the aisle begins.
Alright, so never miss the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair tomorrow at the Accra International Conference Center. It's now time to take a look at what to expect in the Joy Business van today.
The desire in me did not allow me to continue even to ride the professional course. One may ask, having yourself located in a very good office accountant, why wouldn't you continue? But that desire in me to see healthy hair and women to regrow their hair and to have that strong boldness wherever they go as women, and even men to have their hair regrown and to keep length, didn't allow me to continue. So my search on having healthy hair products started. The whole excitement in me is to see healthy hair, not just kinky natural hair, permed hair as well. And honestly, when you're walking around and you see someone with even permed hair and it is good looking, healthy, I feel fulfilled and full of joy. It may not necessarily be my product, but then I see something good.
That's all it took for Francisca to enter into the beauty industry with her range of hair products. Her quest to encourage healthy and luscious natural hair among Ghanaian women made her leave her comfortable job as a permanent auditor.
The full story unfolds on the Joy Business Van later tonight on Business Live. And it's a wrap for the marketplace today. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. Have a good afternoon.